What's up, guys? It's Rob, and I've got a 30-5 gameplay for you guys here, playing free-for-all on Mirage. But the thing about this video is that it's actually not my video, it's actually my brother's video. My brother, James, is actually one of the few people that I play Call of Duty with. Being older people ourselves, we don't have a whole lot of friends we play Call of Duty with. We don't really have a huge team of friends are on every night. You know, we can get together and stomp other people. So a lot of times we find ourselves playing free-for-all just because we're solo, man. And when you're solo, it's really shitty trying to play other objective-based games or other games like Dom, Headquarters, Search and Destroy, whatever. I mean, anything that's somewhat objective-based. Trying to play it by yourself with a bunch of randoms is the worst thing ever. In 9 out of 10 times, you will get pub stomped by someone else. Because they're usually always, everyone else plays in a lobby. There's tons of 16, 8-year-old, 18-year-old kids, that are, and if you're that, I don't mean to be disrespectful by calling you kids, but you'll say young adults that are, going to have a bunch of friends that do the same exact thing playing Call of Duty. When you get a bit older like we are, everyone's got kids and families, and no one really gets together to play Call of Duty together. So a lot of us play free-for-all, and my brother is one of those people like myself that finds himself playing a lot of free-for-all. And the miraculous thing about my brother James is that if you saw on his gamer tag there when he kills someone, his gamer tag, it says KilledByDeafGuy. And it's actually quite clever, but legitimately true. He actually is deaf, and he has been playing Call of Duty with me since Modern Warfare 2, and I've been playing it a little bit longer, since the original Modern Warfare back in the COD 4 days. So we're both pretty seasoned at playing Call of Duty, but James has been practically deaf since birth for the most part. I mean, he was only a few weeks old when he got a allergic reaction to a shot that was pretty mandatory and standard for giving to babies, and this allergic reaction gave him a really high fever, and this high fever killed off the cells that are the little follicles of hair that are inside our ear, or inner ear, that give us the ability to transfer sound waves into messages to our brain, in a sense. So James, as far as he has ever known, has always been deaf. And I grew up in a deaf household, where I had him as my, playmate. He's only about 4 years, 5 years, difference between us. So when he was a little kid and I was like, really young, like 2 years old or whatever, he was the one that I talked to. He was the one that I played with. So I actually ended up learning a lot of sign language and still retain quite a bit of it today. So it's really quite miraculous to see James play Call of Duty, because he obviously is deaf and therefore doesn't have a headset and can't use a headset. So he can't pick up on those cues, those sounds of, shout outs that, the players give from time to time when they're reloading or throwing a grenade. The click of a magazine as it's snapping back into the assault rifle. He relies solely on instinct and knowing spawns. And actually, it's kind of funny when I'm reviewing this footage and looking at it, he's actually implementing a free-for-all strategy that I use myself, but he's doing it unknowingly. And it's called patrolling. And I've talked about it before in other videos I've put on here, but it's one of the most popular, I think, strategies for playing free-for-all. And really what he's doing is he's got a kind of pre-designated route in which he's going to follow, whether it be a certain, a circle, or a certain line back and forth, whatever it may be. This route is what he's following, and it's usually on the perimeter of a map. He's staying within a certain, say, section of the map. So on this map, you looked on the heads-up display. He's staying on the southern, eastern, region of the map, in a sense, or just the southern map. So limiting his exposure also by staying on the perimeter. So he's only got about 180 degrees or half his exposure on the map to really worry about. So everything on the left side of him is potentially dangerous. Everything on the right side he doesn't have to worry about. So people who play free-for-all intelligently tend to stay on the perimeter, because therefore you only have 180 degrees to really to worry about. Otherwise, if you're running aimlessly throughout the map, you're going to get shot in the back a ton of times, because you're going to be running through spawns, and sometimes spawns that are surrounding you in all sorts of different directions, and you'll get in a pickle. So by staying on the perimeter, you're really limiting your exposure, and you're basically patrolling your way through these spawns, catching people as they come out of the spawns. So it's pretty miraculous that he's doing that. He's just learned this from playing enough games, but he doesn't really know what he's doing, and it's an actual free-for-all strategy. If you're more of a noob player, you might think camping up in a building is a good strategy. But it's really not, and let me tell you, if you're a rookie playing Call of Duty, that this is actually a very bad strategy when playing free-for-all. If you're playing other game types, it would probably work okay, but playing free-for-all, there's just too many people coming from different directions. Usually every building to camp up into has got at least 1 or 2 exposure points, one or two modes of entry, and you'll eventually get caught, and it really won't get you the kind of gameplays and KDs, KDRs that you're looking for. The best way to implement it is to, just work on being a better player, knowing your spawns, improving on your accuracy, picking a good weapon that fits the map well. James having picked the Vector was a very wise choice for this map because of its long lines of sights at times and its close range, CQB battles at times, and the Vector can do both, so it's very, very intelligent for him to choose that. So the gameplay is about wrapping up here. He's, like I said, James, legitimately deaf, my brother, and he got a 30-5 gameplay here playing on, Mirage. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know if you want more gameplays from him, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.